Shooting from the Lip features views and opinions from smart, funny, serious, and not so serious people. This show is intended for a mature and not so mature audience. Enjoy the show!
What's happening, people? Kevin Hale kicking it here live on this Wednesday night. The latest Shooting from the Lip. Shooting Stars is the brand name for our Wednesday night show. Wednesday night, June 22nd, 2016. Alive and kicking it up with my tag team partner, Greg Unthank. Greg, what is up?
What's going on, buddy?
It's going, man. Halfway through the week, and here we are.
It is. It's hump day.
Yeah.
It is. It's hump day. I don't know why people call it hump day.
Well, I mean, I guess it's, for you were right in the... I don't even know where that originated.
You're on the downhill, man. You climb the hill, you climb the hump, and tomorrow you're on the downhill run, man.
Yeah. So,
that's what it is. Yeah. Trying to make it other than what it is.
I know. We are doing it here on this Wednesday night. Social media plugs real quick. You can find our shows on iTunes and YouTube. Subscribe to those, please. Shooting from the Lip. We're live tonight via Blog Talk Radio. Twitter at The Shooting Lip. My Twitter at KevinHale423. At Greg_Unthank. You can like us, follow us on Facebook and Instagram. This is one of 3 shows that I do, Greg. Got my Monday night show, which this coming Monday. Every show I do, they're like, Shooting from the Lips, the big umbrella, but each show has kind of its own brand name. Like tonight, Shooting Stars. Friday night with Tiffany Mac is what we call the KT Unearthly show because of the whole paranormal theme. And then Monday nights, I've officially rebranded the name, and to take off on the Shooting from the Lip name, Monday nights will be officially known as Lip Service.
All right.
So, anyway.
And what does Monday nights...
Monday night has a very eclectic kind of feel to Monday night. I may have musicians on. There's no per se topic or guest that we're restricting ourselves to. It's all trying to entertain the people. The next show we do Monday, I have someone who's on, who runs these, Twitter is so big for a lot of people on social media, and they have these, what they call, hashtags on Twitter. Yeah. And, to work a hashtag, on Twitter, if you go hashtag Shooting from the Lip, so you can click, that hashtag, and everybody who's made a comment that's referenced the hashtag, that shows up on all the... So they have this thing called hashtag. What's that?
I never knew that.
Yeah. So what that's called, they call it hashtag wars. They have, like these games or a competition where whose hashtag could get the most hits or, can trend. And we got somebody coming on that does that. And then we've got this... She's local. Well, local is in state. She's an erotica author. She's been on our show before, and she's been very popular when she's been on our show. So, and So, anyways, and then hitting our Friday night thing. Nice little segue as my Friday night co-host is joined us to hang with us for a little bit. Tiffany, what's up? Tiffany.
Sorry, my mic was off. I know. This is such a problem for people, isn't it? Like, mics on and off. Because you're, like, yelling at your kids in the background. You're like, hold on, let me mute it. Shut the heck up! You know, I did that a lot. So.
Maybe you need, like, a clapper.
I'm glad I'm not alone in that situation. I was chasing the dog barks, trying to get away from the dog barking just a minute ago.
Oh, amen to that, too. I've got 3 rescues, and they're all these little ankle biters, but some of them, man, whew.
Wow.
Yippee-yay.
Yeah. Light it up and take a puff.
Hey, man, I want to tell both you guys, I sure appreciate you coming out the other night and checking out the Velvet Saints and you know, the CD release show that they had, and then the band that I'm with, playing with them, and I really do. It was cool. It's heartwarming to see you guys out.
Well,
that was the first time I had met
Tiffany.
Yeah. Tiffany, share with us your experience that night.
Well, you know, it took me a lot to get the privilege of going out to meet you guys on Saturday night. I had to do tons of favors, and my husband finally, I convinced him to go with us. And my mom watched the girls all night, and we actually had a great time. Greg, your band is effing incredible. It was a great show, and even my husband was jamming. My husband, I mean, he was loving it. So,
good deal. Yeah, he's really cool, man. I'm glad he came out also.
Yeah, it was nice to finally meet everybody in the shooting from the Lip family, except for Russ. Russ, where were you, Russ? Oh, yeah, he had surgery.
Yeah.
So, yeah, but, yeah, it was good.
And Chris was sporting the shirt.
Yeah, it was a funny shirt.
Oh.
It was a funny shirt.
Yeah. What was his shirt? What did his shirt say again, Tiffany?
She don't remember.
She does remember. I think she's trying to scoot around it.
I think she's trying to pull it out of the laundry right now.
Okay, so it says, My Dixie Wrecked. And it had our full last name underneath of My Dixie Wrecked. And, of course, it's DIXIE for, like, Dixie Highway in our area. Yeah. And Wrecked, as in WRECKED, instead of the other version of this. So, yes, this is what I run around with on a weekend, is my husband wearing my Dixie Wrecked shirts. And let's see, the last one, I think, what was it? We actually got him on video with a shirt that had a toothbrush and a toilet paper roll. And the toothbrush says to the toilet paper roll, I am so hating my life right about now. And then the toilet paper roll says, what?
Yeah.
Nice.
He don't know. Toothbrush don't know shit, does it?
I wasn't going to say it. I was keeping it clean.
Well, to jump into our first segment, I don't know if our first guest tonight is wearing a Dixie Wrecked shirt, but he is in Destin, Florida, by the poolside, calling us tonight. Chase Skinner, Nashville recording artist from the Ville. Chase, what is up?
Hey.
Chase, what up?
Not much, man. Not much. I'm here watching a Disney movie on a giant inflatable and next to a lawn poolside.
Man,
a Disney movie?
That's living it up right there.
They weren't going to put The Departed on for me, so they had to go with the Disney movie. A lot of kids here.
Oh, okay.
Yeah.
You are a kid, Chase.
I'm telling you, I'm loving it. Every minute of it.
Very cool. So, Chase, give everyone the quick Chase Skinner bio.
Okay. Well, I started playing music when I was 12 years old and started playing in Louisville in a band called Shy Away several years back. We were a rock band. We did a lot of Terry Harper shows, and that's how I kind of got my foot in the door in the Louisville scene anyway, with a lot of the other artists and getting to know the other artists. That's kind of one of the cool things about Louisville, is that artist camaraderie. Everybody I mean, almost all of us know each other. We know where each other plays. We all play the same venues. It's just one big circuit. So that's kind of how I got my foot in the door with it. And then the band kind of fell apart after 3 or 4 years. And I hit a point where I had to kind of figure out what I was going to do if I was going to still do the band thing. I needed to put money in my pocket. And, doing the original rock band thing, I wasn't really doing that at that point. So, I kind of had to soul search, and I started doing a lot of songwriting. And it just started coming out a little more and more country every single time that I wrote something. And then I'd start playing these acoustic cover shows around town. And it kind of all steamrolled from there. Now I'm able to do it full time, and it rocks. It rocks. So
now
that's where I'm at now.
Point, yeah. At what point did you connect with Nashville?
I had gotten into a small deal with some people there in Louisville, actually. And I'd gotten an opportunity to move with my wife to Nashville to work with Malcolm Springer. He did he's an unreal producer, hell of a guy. You got to meet him. But he worked with Matchbox 20 and a bunch of other artists, a whole lineup of artists. And they sent me down there. We moved into Hendersonville, right outside of Nashville. And I started trying to kick the door in. I started playing down there long before I moved down there, like Opry Mills Mall, right there in the middle of the mall, which is a really cool setup, and shows like that. And then finally made my way down to like the Tootsies and the Rippies and all that stuff.
Is that the Broadway scene, Chase? Is that what that is?
Yeah.
That's a pretty hectic situation. I've never done it. I played Nashville a few times, but never the Nashville, the Broadway circuit. I hear that it's an experience all in its own.
Man, I to be honest with you, I thought like I had like a little bit of a grasp because I had met a lot of people down there and made a lot of new friends. Like I said, prior to me moving, I spent a lot of time in Nashville, and when they say it's competition, it's not just the talent that's the competition. It's the people themselves. I mean, there's a lot. It really surprised me the way that their camaraderie works versus the way that a scene like Louisville does. I'm big on working with other artists all the time, all day long. Not to say that they aren't like that in Nashville. I mean, that's how they, these songs that are coming out now, there's 5, 6, 7 writers on them. On these hit songs, but those are the songwriters. A lot of those guys aren't necessarily playing the Broadway strip and things like that. So right down there, it's man. I mean, I really can't explain that. It's one hell of a competition, and it's go go go. Yeah. It's like the first one to the finish line. Throw the rope down. type situation. But it's cool, man. I've learned more than I could have ever learned. Just on my own. If it weren't for the people that I've run into and the people that have worked with me, friends, family, fans, people at home, it wouldn't. There'd be no way to do anything in that industry.
Yeah.
Greg and Tiffany. Chase, these are my co-hosts tonight.
I'm told that this Tiffany character writes Exotica.
No.
Why haven't I met you? What's this all about?
Oh my goodness. That is funny because I'm actually a part of Romance Writers of America, but nobody ever asked about that.
Are you serious? I didn't know that. Romance Writers.
Nope. Yeah, yeah.
So,
but no, I'm not an erotica author. No.
Well, we're gonna have an erotic author. Yeah. Well, I mean, is some of your romance stuff could it be put to music, Tiffany?
Bow chicka bow bow.
Wait a minute. So, Tiffany, you're not the Exotica writer?
No, I'm not.
Oh, well, my apologies. I'm embarrassed.
Yeah, but
That's
you know what?
All right. Now you put some ideas in my head.
Yeah, if you could read her mind half the time, then we're on to something. But
hey, you miss 100% of the shots you don't take, man.
Yeah, there you. I'm looking on Chase's website, ChaseSkinnerMusic.com, and I mean the guy is cool enough on his upcoming shows. He lists our podcast as a thing going on tonight, and he's doing it from Destin. So I appreciate that. Chase,
I appreciate
influences. Yeah, absolutely. Who are some of your influences?
Man, I'm so excited. I'm actually going to get to see one of my biggest influences on Sunday. I'll be back. I'll be in Nashville Saturday, Louisville Sunday, and then back in Nashville Monday. But on Sunday in Louisville, Joe Purdy is playing at, I think, not Zanzibar. I can't remember the name of the venue, to be honest with you. But Joe Purdy, he's this Americana folk writer. He's an independent artist. He's somebody that I've literally studied how he has built his career as an independent artist. I mean, everything from learning how to make passive income from digital downloads and selling merchandise, all the way up to, studying his YouTube videos on, I mean, just the way he is on stage, everything. But the guy's brilliant, and I'm going to see him in a room full of maybe 45, 50 people on Sunday in Louisville.
Wow.
I'm freaking out about that. I'm
right.
freaking out about it, yeah.
That's cool.
So, but Joe Purdy, he's a big one.
He's at the new vintage.
Yeah, the new vintage, yes.
Yeah.
The new vintage. And I know a lot of other cats that have been playing there, or have played there. I've never personally played it, and I've never been in there, but I'm told it's a pretty cool spot to see somebody like that play. So I'm pretty lit about it.
Yeah, Greg, you've played there, right?
No. Oh, well, yeah,
no?
I did. Now, one time I did play there. Now that you mentioned it, I forgot.
Greg, you said you were in Velvet. You're in Velvet Saints.
Well,
no. Actually, the band that I am with, I'm with a band called Blue Funk. We're new, original band. We opened up for Velvet Saints last Saturday night. And,
gotcha. Is that Kevin McCreary's group?
Kevin McCreary is awesome, man. He was Yeah. Actually, Chase. Now I may be wrong on this, but like you said, if you don't ask, you never find out. I think I met you a couple of years ago, maybe at Captain's Quarters when I was playing with Soul Circuits.
There's probably a pretty good chance that happened. Yeah.
Yeah, I was playing drums with Soul Circus, and I believe you were out there, and we were talking before we played one Sunday when we were playing out there. I'm pretty sure that was you, man.
Well, I bet if I saw your face, I would. Yeah, I'd remember. You were playing drums for him. Is that what you said?
Yeah, I was playing.
Gotcha.
I probably was there too at that night on a Sunday night at Captain's Quarters.
Yeah. It's a fun gig on a Sunday, man. It's hopping. It is.
Yeah, it was. It was from the age of like 19 to 25. Now they don't let us out there anymore. We had to pass the torch.
I was told that. I mean, I don't know if this is accurate information, but I remember hearing something about a big old knockdown drag out that happened there. I don't know if it was last year or the year before, but some big event took place and things got out of hand, and apparently they've changed some things about it. But I mean, I've been there. I still drop in from time to time. I used to play there quite a bit. Dan's a buddy of mine. I was introduced to him through Raul Borker. I used to do a lot of work with him, so it's a lot of good bands through there. A lot of good bands.
Yeah, it's a fun gig. If it's not raining, it's a good deal.
Yeah.
And Greg, I got to plug my guy, Greg. Greg is, I guess, the equivalent of a drum slut in the city. You've probably, Greg, forgotten as many bands that you played with than some people ever get to play with. But you're currently with Spare Change Millionaires as well.
Yeah,
right.
and I prefer whore, rather than slut.
Okay. Yeah, I'm sorry.
You and I
My apologies.
keep together, dude.
It's all right. It's all right. Yeah, you know what, man? Though every band has its own experience, and I probably remember all of them that I played with. I'd have to sit down and really think about some of them, but I can remember some of the bands I've just done one gig with, and they all have their experiences for sure. I try to remember all the songs.
I have a question for all of you. How easy or difficult is it to make it in a town like Louisville to get to know all of the bands from the area? Is it a tight-knit community here, or is it sort of transient, like I would assume Nashville would be?
Let me start by saying, I've been doing it for so long here that you eventually work your way around and get to see people and meet the people. You do have to kind of go out there and mix it up in the clubs and go see the bands, and approach the people, approach the band. Say, hey, what's up? I'm Greg. I play drums for so-and-so, and you guys sound really cool, and then, that's when people, you meet some really cool, nice people that way, and then people remember you, and then that, you kind of have to get out there and mix around a little bit. I've just gotten to know people just by doing it for so long in town, and playing with so many different people. So, and I'm sure Chase has gotten his experiences, other ways or maybe the same way. I don't know. How did you get around, Chase?
Honestly, and I can only speak for where I'm at in my music career. I've still got a long way to go. I'm considered a young cat at this point, but I've been around for quite some time in the music scene. Like I said, prior I was in the rock band, but I think it's longevity, how long you're in it. Cool thing about Louisville is the longer you're in it, I don't care if it's the best band in the entire state, it's always the longevity. Everybody in Louisville, all those other musicians, for me, again, I'm speaking for me, there's a respect there.
Yeah.
For guys that have been sitting there playing for 20, 30 years, there's an immediate respect at my end. And like Greg said, going out and meeting them. If you're not willing to go out and see another band play and walk up and meet every dude in that band and make it a point. I put it on my schedule, to make it a point to go see bands that I've never seen before, or bands that I have seen before, and just kind of tidying up the relationship. If you're not doing that, I don't know how you could get to where you'd want to be.
You got to be a recognizable face. You got to be a recognizable face.
Right.
But you have to actually put yourself out there and try to promote yourself, because you never know what contact is going to bring you in that big buck or that better situation in general. You just never know who it's going to be.
You don't. Word of mouth, man, and not only going out there and meeting the people, but when you're performing, I hate to say it like this, but be good, be entertaining. That way they'll recognize your face, and then they'll recognize your talent, and then when an opportunity comes up, they'll say, "Hey, what about that? What about that one dude?" And word of mouth gets around, and that helps a whole lot.
Right. I think. Go ahead.
No, I was going to say I did. We recently I got to see you, Chase, back in May. It was a music fest at the county line for the American Cancer Society thing.
Yeah.
And I'm telling you, man, you came on, man, and you had the audience in your hand, and you know how to interact with an audience. And and correct me if I'm wrong, but I saw you there before and after, and obviously you're interacting with the other bands there. But tell me about when you're playing in something like that, where there are lots of bands and potentially lots of egos. How can No, well, I guess what I'm looking for is there a situation where there's too much ego, possibly?
Seriously, man, well, to start off, I absolutely love doing benefits like that. I wish and I just did Randy's Band-Aid for cancer as well.
Right.
I wish there were 50 of those a year, because I'd be on every single one of them. But, I mean, for me, I look at it as, it's an opportunity to be who I am, and I like being a part of things that help other people, because there's a lot of people that have helped me out. And I'm just big on that. Especially with the cancer stuff. I mean, that's something that's actually coming closer into my just attacked my family about a week and a half ago.
I'm sorry.
So it's all good, but it's something that's real important to me. But as far as playing with the other musicians, I wish I would have started doing that years ago, because it's kind of scary when you walk up in there and you look at a bill and you see all these, you see bands that have been either around longer than you or have a bigger, quote unquote bigger name than you. You know what I'm saying? It's just kind of, you wonder if they're going to judge you. Are they expecting something that you're not going to be able to provide? It's just always, I find it easier to perform for an audience that doesn't play music than an audience that does play music. Because me as a musician, when I'm standing there, you automatically, it's in our nature to sit there and pick things apart, not necessarily negatively judge it, but I can hear it if the guitar player goes off a note. It doesn't matter. It's not a big deal. That's not what the event is about. But you see what I mean? So I know that going into it, so I'm assuming that they're all doing that. So that could be intimidating, but that is the best way to get great when it comes to working an audience. And I mean that right there, I hate to, this is just my opinion on it, but I think that when it comes to music, you got to be really, really good at what you do musically. But if you can't entertain a crowd, I don't care if you're the best thing in the best musician in the world. I just don't think I don't think you got to have you got to do the whole thing. It's a business. It doesn't just revolve around one issue. There's like 5 things you got to deal with all at once and be working them consistently. So I love those events. I think I love it. It's intense when you walk in because there's all those other bands, and it's just fun. It's fun. And you end up being best friends with every single one of them.
Yeah.
Right. And usually they like to drink, so you're doing shots and stuff with them as well.
Oh, yeah, absolutely.
There you go.
You got to do the Nashville Holler and Swallers in there, man.
Oh, yeah.
I always throw those in there. But
as we're winding down with you, Chase, I'm going to throw what we call round of shots. I've got 6 quick like Q&A type things, just some fun questions, and just roll with it. They're painless. What would be the current song playing on your iPod or social media music media right now?
Incubus, Wish You Were Here.
Nice.
Yeah.
Now you still got that.
I literally
little
just came on. Oh yeah, absolutely. Those are my roots, man.
Yeah. First concert you attended?
Garth Brooks, Freedom Hall. Oh my God! Actually, I don't even know what year that was, but that was back when Garth Brooks was at Freedom Hall. I was probably 6 or 7 years old. I was a little dude.
I was going to say, because it's been about 20 years ago, right?
I was 7 and 6.
Yeah. Okay.
Yeah, I was a little dude.
While performing, what is a Chase pet peeve?
When somebody, oh man, that's a loaded question.
Say it.
Say it.
Yeah, okay, pet peeve, somebody trying to request a song while you're in the middle of another one.
Mm-hmm.
That kind of gets to me a little bit.
Yeah. Let's see, number 4, if you could choose one superpower, what would it be? Besides being being able to write erotica?
That was exactly what I was going to say.
You never know. It could be.
I'd like to be able to
make
fly.
A killing.
Fly? Is that what you said?
Yeah, I'd like to be able to fly. Yeah.
Cool.
I don't
get
think
from one place to
anything
another without driving a Toyota. You know?
There you go. What is your favorite phone app?
Favorite phone app? Ooh, does Facebook count?
Yeah, it does.
Yeah, that would probably. I mean, that's what I'm on that. You know, all day, all night, most of the time. That's a big part of the game. So, but I love it.
Well, you're married, correct?
Yes, I am.
So Tinder is not on your phone, right?
No. I didn't even know that app was around, and I had buddies using it for a long time before I ever even knew what it really was all about. I thought it was just like a Match.com app for real. And it's a Match.com, all right.
The wife must be sitting right next to him.
Kevin owns stock in Tinder.
I'll do sometime.
Oh my God. No,
right.
I'm for real. Yeah, I don't mess with that stuff. That's
You're a good boy, Chase. You're a good man.
Man, I'm trying.
Yeah.
Do what I can.
Last question. If you had access to a time machine, where would you go in the past? Anywhere in the past, living, dinosaurs, whatever.
Woodstock.
That's a popular one. Yeah.
It is popular.
Woodstock. Yeah, I'd go to Woodstock. My father actually, you know, he used to tell me stories about those bands that he got to see that all played at Woodstock. And I mean, I grew up listening to those bands. Mm-hmm. And I just, you know, before like the pre-Bonnaroo and the festivals that you have today, I would just love to see what that specific festival was like. I mean, it obviously had a pretty big impact on music culture. So that's where I'd want to
go. And I think what I'm going to do, our next guest for the next segment is on the line. And I'm going to turn his mic on and let our next guest ask Chase the last round of shot question. Do you have a question for Chase Skinner, Mr. Caller? Mr. Second
you're going to throw me right into the wolf. Let's see.
Is that Jake Badger?
It is.
Sure is, buddy.
What's up, WildWood?
What's up, man?
Hey, dude, congrats on everything you got going on right now, man.
Thanks, brother. You too, man.
Thanks.
It's always good having fellow musicians out there making noise. So.
Absolutely.
Last question. I'll keep it easy. What's the favorite show you've played so far?
Ooh. Oh my God.
Favorite show or favorite podcast?
Favorite podcast.
Because if I can get a nice sound bite out of this, I'll use it.
Yeah. Well, I'm gonna have to combine the cancer benefits into one. Because, like I said, Randy's Band-Aid, that was an emotional day, and that was awesome.
Right.
Absolutely.
Mhm. Cool. Did we? Oh, I think he dropped. I wonder if he dropped his phone into the pool.
I done that Sunday. I dropped my phone into the pond that my boy and I were fishing in last Sunday. It still works.
It's a nice little segue. Chase, if he's listening, he can call and we can say our official goodbyes. But Jake Badger, drummer with WildWood. Jake, come play with us. What's up, man?
What's going on, brother? Thanks for having me.
Hey, Jake.
For like the 10th time, it seems like I always enjoy being a part of the podcast here. Always a good time.
Always.
First time with me though, buddy.
Yeah, what's up, man?
Fellow drummer.
Have you two officially met, Greg?
I don't think I've met. No, I don't think so, man. I've heard about him. Heard good stuff about him.
Oh, that's always good.
Yeah.
Jake, WildWood, you guys have been on a roll lately, and I mean that's straight legit. I mean, you all, Cabo Wabo last weekend, you guys in Soul Circus, which actually, Greg, were you drumming with Soul Circus that weekend?
No, they got Andrew Asher to play drums with them that weekend.
Okay, because Craig, you've been playing drums with them, and then, I mean, Jake, I mean, you WildWood is like all over, blasts my news feed all the time. And the thing is, it's not one gig that you're sending out 20 times. It's like several gigs that you got lined up, and you guys are really killing it right now. But
hard work, man, hard work.
Yeah,
yeah,
and it's paying off. Go ahead, Jay.
Yeah, we've been really fortunate. Just released a bunch of stuff this week. Got so much stuff in the works. We try to put it out in waves, so we're not just bombarding everybody's news feed with, gig after gig after gig. So we don't want to get anything lost in the shuffle. But definitely a lot of stuff. We're going to do a kind of a 3-show run here. We got Diamonds this Saturday with Jericho Woods, great band from Southern Kentucky that's making a lot of noise all over the place. They did CMA Fest. They were here in Louisville about a month ago with Sunday's Best. Of course, we announced that we're doing Downs After Dark at Churchill Downs. Playing a historic place like Churchill is always fun. Just a great environment there. And then to top it off, going to celebrate America's birthday in my hometown of New Albany with the Louisville Crashers for the New Albany Independence Day Festival. So
there'll be a couple people there.
Yeah, there'll be a few. That's for sure.
Wow.
It'll be packed. Yeah, that's awesome. Good.
Let's Chase is back on. We didn't get to officially say our goodbyes with Chase. I think we did finish the round of shots with Chase, which is a good thing. But Chase is share with us some of your upcoming gigs and your social media.
All right, cool. Yeah, I'm doing an Indiegogo campaign. Y'all can hear me, right?
Yeah.
Okay, cool. I'm doing an Indiegogo campaign, and I'm trying to raise some money for my new EP. It's gonna be a 5-song EP. It'll be mixed and mastered by the same guy that just did my new single, "Crank It Up," Herb Schuker, out of Nashville. He was actually drummer. He was Randy Travis's drummer for 20 years, and is an unbelievable producer. So I'm going to continue working with him. I'm doing an Indiegogo fundraising Facebook Live show tomorrow. It was supposed to happen today. That wasn't gonna happen. So tomorrow is when it's going down. 7 p.m. It'll be 8 p.m. your all time. And then after that, man, I've got a corporate event in Nashville on Monday. Really just loaded up for July. A lot of stuff in Louisville. Like I said, I'm spending some time in Louisville because of we got some family matters to address. So other than that, everything's good, man.
Good deal.
Yeah.
All right, Chase. Yeah, Chase, thanks for coming
having me on, y'all.
Absolutely.
Yeah, absolutely.
We'll connect at a gig while you're in town soon. So good luck.
Yeah,
if you need
definitely.
anything from me.
Well, hey, thanks, man.
Good luck,
y'all hold
man.
it down,
plugging.
Jake, dude. Keep kicking ass, brother. See ya.
Yep.
You too, man. Let's do a show together soon.
I'm down. I'm down. Hit me up.
Sounds good, man.
See you, buddy.
All right. Thanks, Chase. Chase Skinner, Nashville recording artist, calling from poolside in Destin, Florida. Back to you, Jake. Again, I'm thinking, would it be easier for you to tell us what you're not doing? It seems like you guys your hands are in a lot of things, and not only WildWood. There's 3 of you guys from WildWood have now your own little thing going too?
Yeah. John Hager, who's kind of the mastermind behind the writing for WildWood. John and I are the co-founders of WildWood. We kind of wrote this stuff down on a napkin in a restaurant one day, and then the next thing we know, here we are 2 years later. It's me and John and Scott, our bass player. We just do a little 3-piece gig, and it's kind of a cover project, just kind of we do on the side to pick up gigs and make a little extra dough. So it's always fun.
The way you said it about playing in New Orleans, playing at home, if you will, is that one of the first times you all have done it?
Well, we've done the Country for the Kids 2 years in a row. That's always in New Albany at Wicks, but this is kind of the first big gig that we've done on a large scale in our hometown. Of course, Stacy's from New Albany, too. We both graduated from New Albany High School. It's going to be a lot of fun to have the hometown crowd out there. There's a lot of people. I have a lot of family members that are terrified of crossing the bridge. I don't know why, but there's a huge wall of fear right there that they just can't seem to pass, but they're all coming out. It's going to be a good time, to get to rock out in front of our hometown.
Yeah, it's cool.
Isn't there an urban legend where there's like this large river monster that can come up and, attach itself to a bridge?
There's a big troll under the bridge.
Oh, yeah, something like that.
You guys are so much older than me. You guys are so much older than me. I've never heard this stuff before.
Well, I'm making it up. I'm being silly.
Oh, fine. You're still old.
Well, I'm still old.
You know what?
Wow. Thanks,
Tiffany.
Tiffany.
No telling what's in there.
I don't know. I've never heard this stuff before.
Jake, what's in this weekend? You said you're at Diamonds, right? This weekend.
Yeah, we'll be at Diamonds Saturday night. Starts at 7.
Well, I'll tell you what, Jake, rest your voice for a second, because I got you covered.
Hey guys, this is Jake Badger from WildWood. Join us Saturday night at Diamonds Concert Hall with Jericho Woods and City of Country. Tickets are $10 in advance and $12 at the door. Show starts at 8. We'll see you there.
There you go. I just saved 12 seconds of your voice.
Thanks, I needed that. I got to rest my voice for this weekend. So.
Yeah.
I do a lot of singing along behind the kit. So.
Yeah. What is give us, with Greg being a fellow drummer of 30 some years, Greg. Give us a good drumming story, Jake.
Oh man,
something that just maybe went to hell, and you were just so like either a real bad story or a real good story,
All right, it's funny. I was actually telling this story the other day. We'll take it way back to my very first public show.
Nice. Got broke in
back
quick.
in high school, playing in the middle of a street, some little street festival. There was maybe 6 people there, and 5 of them were in the band. I had just an old, cheap, super cheap-ass set of drums. It barely even stood up so you could play it. And I just went out and spent $50 on a cymbal that I thought was just, the best thing in the world. And I had no idea. I just got into really playing and finding out how expensive drums really were. And I'm sitting there playing. I think we was playing a Green Day song or something. I look over and the wind started blowing, and it was catching my cymbal. I had 2 crash cymbals, one on the left, one on the right. One on the right starts shaking, and it was the expensive one I just bought, and I was like, I'm not letting it hit the ground. So I went to catch it, and as I did, the other one hit me right in the face.
Oh.
From the left side.
Did it cut you?
But it didn't cut me. It was it turned just enough so it was like a square hit to the face.
Oh.
And didn't miss a beat. Kept going and played through it, and been a rock star ever since.
Awesome.
Mm-hmm.
Dude, I cracked myself in the freaking nose with a drumstick in the middle of a song, and it bleed.
Oh,
really?
I hit myself in the face and the leg so many times. A lot of battle wounds.
Yeah.
For me, guys, I've hit my head on the headboard a time or two, and the beat still goes on, though.
That's what happened.
Yeah.
Oh, yeah.
Oh, yeah. Tiffany, did you get that, buddy? She's even listening.
I did. I caught it. Yeah, I heard you. That explains a lot of the men I know in my life, though.
Oh. They're all headbangers.
Well, they've all been hit in the head for sure.
They've all been banged
or
in
dropped.
the head, right?
Or dropped. Yeah, my husband was dropped on the head, which I find very funny.
Very funny. Jake, I would I've done round of shots and stuff with you. I don't know if you want to go through that line of questioning again or not.
Sure, let's do it.
All right, let's get Jake's response. We've got our next guest on hold, so we'll be bringing her on soon. Current song on your iPod Music Media.
Old Dominion, Said Nobody. Really grown to like those guys lately. Their first album has been really good, and of course they're pretty good songwriters. They've written a number of hits for a bunch of the guys out right now, so been jamming that a lot.
First concert?
One of my first concerts was Kenny Chesney at the 4-H Fairgrounds in New Albany, Indiana, after the rodeo before he was famous.
What's a Jake pet peeve while performing?
Oh man, let's see here. Funny, me and Stacy were talking about this the other day. If anybody's on stage playing a tambourine and they're playing it off time, drives me insane.
Tiffany, if we handed you a cowbell, could you keep up with the beat?
No, I haven't been a professional since I was about 6 years old playing that, but
Okay.
I could at least keep beat.
Okay, just saying.
I could keep a beat.
You have to come play some cowbell with us.
Yeah.
Okay, I'll be there.
Jake, if you could
Whenever
choose
you need
one,
me.
Yeah, if you could choose one superpower, Jake, what would it be?
Ooh, superpower. I would probably. I guess we'll keep it simple. I would probably fly just so you can get places quicker. I hate sitting in traffic.
Everybody flies. Everybody.
I guess is it because freaks want to fly?
Yeah. Is it just because you don't want to stand in line at the security check? Yeah.
Yes, absolutely.
Yeah.
The TSA. You don't want to get molested by the TSA.
Or maybe the ability to have super ears so you could hear like what everybody's saying.
Yeah.
Like across the room.
Like the Bionic Woman. Does anybody remember her?
I do.
No one remembers but you, Kevin.
Tiffany doesn't. I remember.
We're the old guys.
I do.
We're the old guys.
Yeah.
Yeah,
anyway.
$6 Million Man and the Bionic Woman.
All right.
The Ebonic Woman. I know the Ebonic Woman. I took her to
Ebonic.
Now I know that. But see, this next question, because Jake is single. What's your favorite phone app, Jake?
Oh, favorite phone app. I'm going to have to admit, I love Tinder.
Right up my. Now, granted, his age limit. Your age from to it's probably less than mine is the range, but
it's probably like 14 to 24.
Whoa!
For
not
Jake?
14. No,
sicko, tiffo, no.
Oh wait, no, that was Kevin.
No.
My age is about 23 to 35, maybe. That's my top. So I can handle a cougar. But to me, Tinder is more entertaining than anything.
It is. People watch Tinder.
Yes, me looking at Tinder is kind of like watching fireworks. I'm like,
exactly.
Ooh, oh damn.
Oh. Yeah.
It's a little fun.
And for the record, I always delete my Tinder. I'll have it on for about a week and delete it for like a few days, and so I can go back and start all over again.
Oh yeah.
What's wrong with you?
I love how there's like some random super hot chick who's way too hot to be on Tinder.
Yeah.
And she tells you how dirty she really is, and then when in reality, it's just some
homeless chick
sitting in a trailer park somewhere.
Yeah.
It's a homeless chick trying to find somebody who could pay rent for a trailer.
Anyway,
I want to see these women. I want to see these women that you all started try to hook up with, and I want to be the judge of their character and of everything around their character.
That's a factor into this character.
It is. It is. It is. It is a factor.
Right, anyway.
Maybe you don't realize that. Well.
All right, Oprah.
I'll be the judge. Let me be the judge.
let's last shot question for Jake. If you had access to a time machine and can go anywhere in the past, where would you go?
And I would probably just go back to maybe like the late 50s. Such a cool period of time, here in America. Like, everybody had, like, really cool style, a lot of interesting music, starting to take place back then, and interesting people, that's for sure. Just to kind of get a taste of the old living back when you could go and, gas was a quarter and nobody had a car and all that good stuff. Just to see it was a different way of life back then.
Well, you got it.
You had to remember that you had to wait till marriage, though, too.
Yeah, I wonder if that was true or not.
Yeah. Poor mama don't know, don't hurt her.
Right.
Uh-oh.
Exactly. Now, before we let you go, Jake, share with us all the social media that you guys are attached to.
Oh, let me get out my list. We're on WildWood 502 Facebook, at WildWood Country for Instagram and Twitter. WildWood502.com has our website on there. It's new and improved. Just put a bunch of press shots on there, and looks really good. Our new agent did that for us, and pretty proud of that one.
Cool.
A lot of stuff coming up, so keep track of it.
Do you, our last guest tonight is Lyndsey Henken. Do you have any history with Lyndsey?
I don't personally know Lyndsey. I know her sister. I know Olivia really well. Played a couple shows with her. Love Olivia to death. So.
Yeah. Cool. Actually, I think one you guys, Olivia, Josh, WildWood, Nappy Roots. This was a benefit back at wasn't it Headliners last?
Yep. That was it.
Yeah. That was a good night, great night. All right, Jake. Good stuff as usual. You know where to find me to help put the word out for you guys, and we'll definitely, I'm sure, we'll be crossing paths as usual. So enjoy your night.
Real quick, I have to tell you guys, I'm with a celebrity right now.
You're with a celebrity right now?
The famous Jer Bear, who's my padre. If you have ever been to a WildWood show, you've seen this guy all over the place dancing with all the ladies. So he wanted to give you a shout out. Say what's up. Hey, what's up? Good old Jer Bear, my dad.
Jer Bear. We like Jerry. Jer Bear.
But,
very cool.
Yeah, man. As always, thanks for having me on. Come out to the show. Both any of you guys come out. If you're free Saturday, come out. I'll throw you out some free tickets and come out and hang out with us.
All right. Appreciate it, Jake. Jake Badger, WildWood. Jake,
cool,
take care, man. We'll see you.
Thank you, brother.
See you. All right. Couple segments down. One more to go. We've got a nice, quick little promo to play before we bring on our last guest.
This is Kimmet from Kimmet and Doug. We will be at the Corner Pizza Pub on Mercy Lane on Saturday night from 9 to 12. That's the Corner on Mercy Lane from 9 to 12 this Saturday night. Hope to see you there.
There you go.
Yeah.
Kimmet
and Doug, they've been playing around here for years, man. If you haven't seen them, do yourself a favor and go check them out. They're very entertaining.
Well, checking out our last guest of the night, we bring on Miss Lyndsey Henken. Nice.
Hey, y'all. How are you?
Hi, Lyndsey.
How are you?
Great. How are you all doing?
Good.
Is it your birthday, Lyndsey?
Tomorrow. It is my birthday. Yeah, 22. So not quite as exciting as the last birthday, but hey, we'll take it. We're still here, right?
Well, happy birthday to you. I'm glad that you got to come on and tell everybody, the millions and millions of people that's listening, that it's your birthday.
Thank
now,
you.
what number is this? What number is this, Lyndsey?
This is 22.
22.
So,
22, man. She's
last birthday was a little more exciting, but we'll take it.
Yeah.
Mm-hmm. Yeah, at that 21st birthday there's always some stories, good stories of that birthday.
Yeah, we won't go there.
No.
It was that good.
Yeah, I have a daughter who's going to be turning 22 in a few months too. Did you go to school here in Louisville?
What's the last name?
Hale. Did you go to school with, or where'd you go to high school?
I went to PRP.
Oh, you went to, okay. So, do you know Claire Hale?
That name sounds familiar. I'm not 100% sure. That name does sound familiar.
She went to Ballard, but I think Claire said she knows you or knows of you as well. So
did
anyway.
she go to WKU?
No.
No? Okay.
No.
I know a Claire that went to WKU. I'm not 100% sure, but that name sounds super familiar.
Yeah, and probably for not all the right reasons, but anyways.
I knew that I liked Lyndsey. She's a good old South End girl.
Oh, yeah. Born and raised. It'll always
there
be
you
home.
go. That's it. Me too.
My boyfriend and I just actually bought our first home out here in the South End, so you can't get us away.
Well, cool. Congratulations on that. That's a big move.
Thank you. I appreciate it.
Absolutely. Share with us the quick and easy Lyndsey bio.
All right. Well, like we just talked about, I'm born and raised in the South End of Louisville. Proud to be from here. I represent it everywhere I go and wouldn't trade it for the world. Started off real young, probably 2 or 3 years old. I sang with my first live band at the Kentucky State Fair and haven't, been able to put music aside since then. Through high school, it kind of faded out a little bit in my life. I decided to take a different path with sports and cheerleading and everything else, so didn't really pay a whole lot of attention to it as far as performing goes, but it definitely still, music still played a big part in my life. But as soon as I graduated high school, I think the urge to perform kind of hit me again, and I decided that was the path I wanted to take. So in about, I think, May of 2014 was my very first show as the Lyndsey Henken Band. We played at a little local pub, BJ's Sports Pub on Dixie Highway.
Yes.
That was our very first show as a band, and I recall being as nervous could possibly be. And my drummer, I think both of you know Joe Lambert, I turned around and I looked at him and I said, I can't do this. They had already started playing the melody to the next song, and I looked at him and I said, I don't think I can do this. And he looked me dead in the eyes and said, if you don't turn around and sing this song, you'll be the biggest joke in Louisville. He said, you can do this. I have confidence in you, and, you're more talented than you know. And I turned around and I played that song and I sang it, and I didn't look back since. So it's been a journey and it's been a ride, and we've gotten to play at quite a few big venues, including, the State Fair and Thunder Over Louisville on the main stage, and it has been a great ride, and I look forward to continuing that ride and continuing to play around Louisville and hopefully many other states and cities. And I just, it's been great to get to meet so many great people, especially local artists in Louisville. I think we've got a great thing going here, and there's so many local artists who I look up to and admire and learn from, and I'm very thankful to be from a city where local music is such a big part of the culture, and it's played a big part in my life.
Well, Tiffany, this is Greg. I wanted to get you on the show. For one thing, because of your attitude. You came out. It's been a month or so ago to see the band that I'm with, Spare Change Millionaires, and you got up and you sang a song with us, and you killed it. You did an awesome job. Yeah, you did an awesome job, and you were so nice. You stuck around, y'all hung out and partied and had a good time, and it really made an impression on me. And I'm like, well, that's the kind of people that we need to represent, Louisville and the music scene. And I know that you're in the shadow of Olivia.
Yeah.
And I wanted
we
to be.
We can call it a shadow, but it's a great shadow to grow up underneath.
Well, absolutely. That's why I wanted to give you a little bit. Say, hey, get Lyndsey on here and let's talk about what she's doing. Plus my friend, our mutual friend Tony Frank, talks so well about you. You mentioned Joe Lambert. Joe gave you the confidence that night to turn around and sing and got your confidence up. Are you learning from these guys? Because you got a great band. You've got guys with a lot of experience behind you, and that's got to be a great learning experience. Well, what things have they showed you that's just kind of like, you never would have thought about it until you've seen them or talked to them about it?
I do. I'm very blessed to have the guys that I do, and I'm so thankful for their experience and their guidance. And not only Tony and Joe, but I'm also playing with Casey Richardson right now, and all three of them are not only phenomenal musicians, but they're phenomenal men as well. And I'm so grateful to have guys in my band who aren't just willing to teach me things about music, but also about life. And I wouldn't trade them for the world, and I hope that I don't ever have to, but, they teach me that it's not just about the sound of your voice or the way you can play an instrument, or it's about getting the crowd involved and showing people how music can truly affect you and how music can have such a big impact on your life. And they have definitely had a huge impact on my life, and I hope that they've enjoyed playing with me as much as I have with them, and that we'll continue to have the success that we've had so far in the future. But they've definitely taught me that music can change lives, and I've always grown up believing that. But seeing these men who music has been just such a giant part of their life. They've been playing for 20, 30 some odd years, and that just inspires me to continue to chase this dream, no matter if it takes me just to the city limits of Louisville or beyond. I feel so grateful that my voice and my music has been able to have such a large impact on the community, and whether it goes past the Louisville community or not, they've taught me that having an impact on someone with your voice, whether it's just inside your local community or global or nationwide, it doesn't matter. It's just that feeling of inspiring someone and seeing somebody's eyes light up when your music starts to play. It's a feeling that can't be replaced, and I don't think that feeling would have been possible had they not been a part of it, and I'm very grateful for that.
Yeah, you're in a great position. It's kind of similar. I came across in my younger years. I got to be in a band with some guys a lot older, a lot more experienced than myself, and that was a invaluable experience. They taught me so much that I never would have thought. And it's kind of like, I call that the times that I was green. They showed me the ropes. And I always see them from time to time and say, hey man, thanks again. You showed me the ropes. You taught me a whole lot. So. You're in a good position, that's for sure.
Without a doubt. People ask all the time, what about getting a young band and all of you all touring and doing things? And I'm like, I think where I'm at right now is exactly where I need to be, and I'm learning all the things that I need to learn. I'm fairly new to the Louisville music scene. It's only been a little over 2 years since we started playing together, and I think that, the guys that I'm with have taught me things that I would never have learned with, starting a band from scratch and starting with musicians who were as green, so to say, as I was. And I'm very grateful for the experience that they have and the experiences that they've been able to share with me, and the knowledge that I've been able to gain from them. I'm very fortunate to have such seasoned and very talented musicians in my band. I'm very grateful for that.
Well, it sounds like you've got your short-term goals worked out where, but what are the long-term? I mean, is this something you want to eventually be the, 24/7 thing for you?
The dreaded question, right?
Mm-hmm.
I started this because music was my release. Music was my way to get on stage and forget about anything and everything that was going on in my world and just, let go and be able to express myself in a way that you can't express yourself off stage. So to me, it was a way to just let go and express myself. But, nobody starts the dream with it'll just be a local thing. It'll just be something we do on the weekends. I definitely would not be opposed if something happened. We're not pushing it too hard right now. I'm still in school. I'm in my senior year at U of L. So I definitely want to complete that. It's something that I've put a lot of work into, and I'm looking forward to completing this December. But as far as music goes, if something were to come along, I definitely would not be opposed, and it's something that I think every little girl who has ever been told that they have a voice and that they can sing, I think it's something that they always dream of. So it's definitely something that's possibly in the future, something that I possibly hope for and would not be opposed to. But as of right now, I'm happy just, being 22 and finishing college and living my life and getting to sing on stage almost every weekend and inspiring people with the band and with the music that we're already doing. But like I said, it's definitely not something I'm opposed to. I guess we'll just have to see how that goes in the future.
Very cool. Do you officially have your own groupies? Be honest. Now I know you got the boy. Is it the boyfriend or husband? Are you married? What was that?
Boyfriend. Yes, boyfriend.
I mean, does the boyfriend have to remind some people in the audience that she's with me? Settle down, guys.
Now, we won't throw him under the bus too hard. He is sitting in another room, so I don't want to do that.
Okay.
He's very supportive, and he is very open with the fact that he knows that this is something that I enjoy doing, and he knows the territory that comes along with the situation. So, if anything were to ever get taken a step too far, I think that he'd definitely be there to support me and back me up, but we haven't necessarily run into a situation too bad just yet. I know Thunder over Louisville is the biggest show we play all year, and there's a lot of great people out there, and we're so thankful for all the fans that come out to check out our show. This year, Olivia and I both played all day long, and it's so much fun. But there is a lot of alcohol involved and a lot of all-day partying, so, people start to get a little excited towards the end of the night, and I think that it might be a little hard for him to bite his tongue at the end of the night, but he knows at the end of the day that at the end of the day it's the trust between the two of us that matters, and he knows that if anything were to happen, I would definitely say something to somebody, or even more so probably be willing to handle it myself as far as my personality goes, but he's very supportive.
I can see. I probably could see.
Too much of a problem taking care of myself.
Hey, let me step in real quick and tell Lyndsey a story. I was out several years ago to see Olivia play, and I got to meet a certain gentleman who started telling me jokes after joke after joke after joke, and he had me in stitches, and he was such an awesome guy, and my wife was with me, and he was telling jokes, and we were just cutting up and laughing, and come to find out it was your grandfather.
I knew this was where this story was going. If anybody has never met my grandfather, you are missing out, I tell you what.
Oh, he is a hoot. He is awesome.
He's a very big part of, the reason that this band exists, and a very big part of the reason that I am motivated to do what I do. I've seen him be so successful in everything that he's ever wished to do, and he is a huge music fan. I can't tell you how many times that I've played from, 10 to 2 in the morning and tear down lasts until almost 4, and he is the last person in the bar with us until we tear down, and it never fails. Him and my grandmother both. He's 83 and she's 80, and
wow.
they are the last people at the show every
Good
time.
Lord.
Without failure, they are there every time, and I'm so grateful to have them. And they sponsor our shows, they back us, they do everything they can because they truly believe in the dream that Olivia and I have, and I mean, they haven't missed a show, and I don't think that they will until somebody
That's
has
awesome.
to force them to. And they're great people. If you have not met them, you truly are missing out. They are just fantastic people.
Well, now we know that the next time we get to an Olivia or Lyndsey show, we gotta interact with the grand folk.
Absolutely, man.
Doubt. I think they might be more fun than me, and I'm not sure that's such a good thing since I'm supposed to be like 21 right now and having a great time. But they are more fun than me, without a doubt. He dances on bars.
Oh yeah.
They are the life of the party everywhere.
Absolutely.
Cool.
I had to bring that up because I wanted to just tell you how much I enjoyed him.
Hey, I'm glad you did. They're a huge reason why my music is what it is right now. So I'm glad that you did bring that up.
Yep.
Well, that is cool, man. So much for me whining about, lack of sleep or, start yawning before midnight happens.
Yeah, until you're 83 at a bar at 4 in the morning, I don't think I'll be able to hear it from you.
Right.
Yeah, there you go.
You big baby.
Yeah, exactly.
Quit your whining. It's only 12 o'clock.
Right. All right, Lyndsey, I think you got to hear this with Jake on the previous segment. I do this thing called Round of Shots. If you were paying attention.
I was a little nervous you were going to throw this at me.
Yeah, and so I tried to get you. Once I realized, she's listening. She's probably listening to questions, so therefore she can formulate answers. But I want to, try to be quick. But let's see how you handle the round of shots. First question. What is a current song on your iPod music media?
Okay. I won't lie, it's probably so overrated, and it's on the radio right now, but Holy is one of my favorite songs that's out right now as far as on the radio. I think Florida Georgia Line brings something kind of fresh to country music. I know that they're very different, and, everybody covered it. I'm not a huge fan of the, hip-hop country music, but I think that their new song, Holy, has really brought a new kind of fresh sound to their music, and I think that that's something that they should maybe run with. I think that it's definitely different from their previous music as far as their sound goes.
Gotcha.
But I heard that song for the first time in the car with my boyfriend, and we both kind of were just like, okay, we kind of like this song, and it's kind of become a thing for us. So I do like the song Holy by Florida Georgia Line.
Cool. First concert you attended?
Oh, my goodness. I don't know if I can even place the first concert I ever attended because I was probably like 3 years old with my parents, probably sneaking into a concert at Freedom Hall at the Kentucky State Fair. But the first concert I can recall attending was Shania Twain at Freedom Hall at the Kentucky State Fair, and I was probably 4 or 5 years old. And I remember my older sister, Olivia, if I was 4 or 5, she was probably 11 or 12, and she had a big sign with glitter and sparkles and all that said, "Please let me sing with you." And at the bottom it said, "I promise I can sing." And I'll never forget that because every concert I go to now, I think about all these kids with these signs that say, "Please let me sing with you." And I just think, I'm sure every artist on stage thinks, this person probably cannot sing at all. I'll never forget being at that concert and knowing your sister can actually sing and being like, How cool would that be if she got on stage? No, but Shania Twain was a great entertainer, and I actually got the pleasure of seeing her again last year at the Young Center when she was in town. And she's still just as great of an entertainer now as she was then. And
she was big back then, too. She was really on fire back then.
And we do a few of her songs now with the band, but I will never forget that.
I think you can still associate the word yum with Shania right now as well.
I I definitely think that's true. After seeing her at the Center this past year, I only can hope that I will look that good when I'm that far into my career.
Oh, yeah.
We'll just leave that as what it is.
All right, Lyndsey, while doing a gig, what's a pet peeve you deal with or experience?
Okay, a pet peeve. I guess I would have to say that the biggest pet peeve that I deal with, as much as I love them, I guess I'd have to deal with, I don't want to throw him under the bus, but if you're listening, Dad, I love you. My dad is the best roadie you will ever meet. He loads all the equipment in. He sets everything up. He tears everything down. So before I get into my pet peeve, I just want to let him know I appreciate all of that.
Drum roll, Greg.
There is nothing quite like your dad sitting in the audience with a pretend mic up to his mouth saying, walk this way, do this with your hand and do this with your hips. And it might be the funniest part of the show as well as the biggest pet peeve. Watching him pretend to dance around the stage and hold the mic up to his mouth. And half the time I just want to invite him in the mic and be like, hey, my dad's actually going to come on stage now and do this show for you all. It's quite entertaining, but I will say it might be one of the biggest pet peeves. I have great fans, and, everyone that comes out to all of the shows I'm so appreciative of, and my parents are very, very much so my biggest fans, and they're in the very front row singing every song, loading every mic, loading every drum, loading every piece of equipment they could do. My mom takes care of all of the booking and the managing of the band, all of the merchandise sales, so I'm very fortunate to have them. So I won't say anything else negative because I might lose my bookie and my roadie all at the same time. But
don't want that.
I'm very fortunate to have them, and I know at the bottom of his heart he's just a supportive parent trying to get me to do my best. So, like I said, Dad, if you're listening, I do love you. Sorry for throwing you
Coach Dad. Coach Dad.
If you're at a show, please be sure to check him out in the front row, giving me all the pointers on how to be the best entertainer.
Now, when he's doing it, though, is he doing it to be funny, entertaining, or is he really serious?
I think there might be a little bit of both. I think that if the alcohol has been flowing, he probably wishes I'd get him on stage so he could be the entertainer of the night. So that's the funny part. No, but he has watched, us grow up as, I did, pageants and talent shows and everything else as a kid, and Olivia did the same, and she's been in the Louisville music scene for so many years, and I think he's just grown up watching so many musicians entertain around the city and around the country, and I think that all he wants is for me to be my best, and all he wants is, for people to be entertained, and I think that he just wants to give his opinion on what is the best way to entertain the crowd. And, a lot of times he probably is right. While I'm on stage, it might be a little bit of a...
Well, she's smoothing it over, isn't she?
You have to watch him, walk across the front of the stage telling me what to do. But at the end of the day, I will say, as hard as it is to admit, he probably is right. And when he's telling me what to do, it probably would be more entertaining. I will admit that I'm very glad to have his advice, and he really is, like I said, the best stage dad that I could ever have. So I'm very fortunate to have his advice and his opinion.
As an idea, Lyndsey, you all should set up a camera without him knowing and tape him, and then
that's a good idea.
set it to connect it with, some music and put it on YouTube, and let's make Dad go viral.
This might be the best idea I've heard yet, and I promise you, with the dance moves he's put out there on the front of the stage,
exactly.
It will go viral. I promise you that.
Good deal. Let's see, that's a pet peeve. If you had a superpower, if you could choose to have a superpower, what would it be? And don't say flying. The last several people have said flying. So I'm not going to accept flying.
Let's see. This might not be necessarily okay. I guess it would be a superpower. If I could have a superpower, I think it would be. I don't know if this is like a superpower or like a supernatural power or what this would be, but I think it would be to bring one person who has had to unfortunately pass on to come back, and I would use my power only one time. That would be my one-time power, but my cousin Kendall and I were born on the same day, which is tomorrow, June 23rd, of the same year. I'm 6 hours older than she is, and unfortunately 2 years ago on December 2nd, 2013, she passed away. And
sorry.
She was in an unfortunate car accident. So I think that, to me, I don't know that I necessarily want to have a superpower that I could use all the time, because I wouldn't want to become like a superhero that would unfortunately like use my powers way too often. So I think that I would want a supernatural power to bring someone back, and that's who I would definitely choose. She was a huge supporter of Olivia's career, and I unfortunately didn't start my career until after she had passed away, but she had a huge impact on it. And, you know, knowing that she was up there watching over me and knowing that I was, you know, I had the best guardian angel that I could ever possibly have, inspiring me to perform my best of my ability every show has truly had an impact on my musical career. And I'm very fortunate to have that, but I'd do anything to have her actually in the audience. But I think that would be my power, would be to bring one person back that I could.
Well, that's awesome. We've never had anything like that. That's great.
Yeah, that's a very unselfish of you.
Very much.
You know, so then I want to keep my superpower, the power of invisibility, to myself, because it would just, I would try to.
I don't want to know where you would happen to show up if you were invisible.
Exactly.
There is no telling where you would end up being if you were invisible. So I'm gonna let you keep that one to yourself.
Okay. All right. What is your favorite phone app?
Oh gosh, I hated to say so many things. I guess that's why they call it shooting from the lip. Oh my goodness. I hate to admit so many of my flaws on public radio, but I guess, I will admit it, I am a social media fiend. When you're a musician, you can't really not be on social media. It's such a big way to promote yourself and promote the band and promote shows. So it's hard not to be a part of social media when, you're a musician. But I could probably spend a little less time on social media personally. Facebook, Instagram. I'm not so much on Twitter anymore, but Facebook and Instagram are definitely my top phone apps. I probably spend a little too much time on social media.
Do you just soak up all the compliments that, or at the end of the day, do you go, wait a minute, I was really hoping to get 100 compliments today on my hair, and only 74 liked it.
No, she don't strike me as like that a bit.
As far as compliments go, I am terrible at taking a compliment. If someone gives me a compliment, I find a way to just change the subject or bring up something else. I am actually terrible at taking a compliment, and
Lyndsey,
maybe
I'm
if
the same way. I get embarrassed.
Myself, that might be it, but I post pictures and statuses, but I post things that mean something to me or that are close to my heart. But I don't really post anything in hopes of everybody liking it. I've never really been that kind of person that I post things or say things in hopes of everybody agreeing. I'm kind of my own kind of person, and I say and do what I please a lot, which kind of has gotten me in trouble sometimes. But I believe in standing up for yourself and standing up for what you believe in. And social media is a great way to keep in touch with people and to know what's going on in everybody's lives, but I definitely don't think that I only post things to get the likes or the attention, because, you know, if one person likes my post, that person's great, but
we're going to have to work on that, Greg. I thought I was getting a full-fledged diva on this show tonight, and she's been like the sweetest girl. She's like, actually, she's so sweet. I think I've got the cavity from.
I told you it was the personality, man. I told you that.
I know, and I'm like, guys, Lyndsey, give me some TMZ material.
I hate to be too bittersweet, or too cliche, but when Tim McGraw's song "Humbling Time" came out, it really struck a nerve with me, and you know, I try not to let any of the, you know, shows and the fans and the people who come out and really want to treat you like a celebrity and just make you feel like you're on top of the world. I try not to let that, you know, resonate too much, because to me, I'm still just Lyndsey Henken, and I'm the cheerleader who decided to sing one day. And to me, the South End of Louisville will always be home, and the people that I've met here and the people who have supported me mean everything and more. So, you know, whether I move away from here someday or not, you know, the South End of Louisville will always be home, and I'm very, very, very fortunate to have been, you know, treated so well and supported so greatly within the community. And I just, you know, I've seen fame go to people's heads, and I've seen people, you know, deal with, you know, struggling to cope with becoming a star. And I sincerely hope that if I am ever fortunate enough to be as big as, you know, being on the CNT Awards or, you know, anything like that, being a huge celebrity, I really hope that I still remember those roots and I still remember where I came from, because that's definitely been instilled with me by my parents, and it's something that I really take pride in, because I wouldn't be anywhere without where I came from and who I came from. So I'm very fortunate to have had that instilled in me at such a young age.
Yes.
Very good. Very good. All right, Lyndsey, wrapping up, share with us your social media and all the little places they can find you.
Yeah, for sure. Instagram and Twitter, you can check me out at Lyndsey Henken. That's LYNDSEYHENKEN. And on Facebook at Lyndsey Henken Music. And then on our actual website, we're at LyndseyHenkenMusic.com. We post all of our latest shows, events, updates, blogs. We have all of our nice little details on all of those sites. So we'd really appreciate you all coming out to a show real soon, and please keep up with us. We post all kinds of updates on those sites. So we'd love to have you follow us and keep up with us, and we're so grateful for the fans that we've already acquired, and we hope to just keep growing from here.
Very cool. Good segment, Greg.
Yeah.
She was like the perfect guest. I wanted controversy.
She's a flower of joy, man. A flower of joy.
Well, I appreciate it. It was very great to be here, and I appreciate y'all having me out.
Absolutely. All right, Lyndsey, thanks. We'll do our part in promoting you and shoving. I don't know. I want to turn Lyndsey into a TMZ moment. So, you know, we'll have to figure that out.
I'm supposed to be the girl that never changed.
Okay, all right. Maybe. Okay. But seriously, thanks for hanging out with us tonight. Wish you well. Wish you the best. And we'll see you soon.
Thank you. I appreciate it. Y'all have a good one.
All right.
Bye,
see you. Lyndsey Henken, come on and killing it tonight, man. It's a full show tonight. I still got a couple of promos to play before. Let me throw this one in before we go.
Yeah.
This one is definitely not about.
Yeah, hold on. Is this Chuck Daring?
Yeah, check this out. Go ahead. No, you want to set it up? What?
Well, yeah. Let me set up. Chuck is Man, speaking of diva, let me say that Chuck would be what you would call a male diva. You know, if you haven't seen Chuck, he's hot, dude. I'm telling you, if I was a girl, I would be all over Chuck. And I tell him that often. I say, dude, you're like hot. So
I don't know if I've met him before.
He's from Paris. He plays
really?
in Naked Garden. And he's even been over my house to help me with my computer problems. So he's a real cool dude. He's a South End fella, and hot as can be, man. So I just want to throw that out there. Just throwing that out there.
And you know what? Us being as manly as we are, we can give guys compliments. There's nothing wrong with it.
I'm confident with my masculinity. I can say my wife even said he was hot.
Yeah. So there you go.
So it's all good.
Check out the promo.
This Saturday, Wicks in the Highlands is the place to be. On Baxter Avenue, get a big 10-inch for your mouth while Naked Garden rocks the house.
Pizza. He's talking about pizza, folks.
Exactly. Chuck, I got to meet Chuck. I think I'd like Chuck.
Yeah, Chuck's a good dude.
Good dude. Good stuff here. We're rounding third and heading for home here. Very solid show tonight, man. We had Chase Skinner, who he is a Nashville recording artist. He is living in Nashville. He was calling from Destin, Florida, hanging out with us tonight. Jake Badger, drummer with WildWood, is also with the band, the Hager Band. WildWood's another local act that's just been on a roll lately with their country sound. And then Lyndsey Henken closed the show out with us, and very good segment with Lyndsey. You could tell. I mean, in all seriousness, that's a sweet, down to earth girl, and
yeah, very much.
Yeah. So and then. You pointed out, man, she's got some solid performers with her, doing the gigs with her. And
yes, she does.
That's priceless to have that kind of talent, with, support.
And she recognizes that, so that she can take advantage of it, now.
Mm-hmm.
She can recognize things as it's happening instead of, down the road saying, you know what, I owe that to that guy, years ago. I didn't know that then, so it's she's very, very smart about it.
I hear you. As we're shutting it down for the night, I do want to, Tiffany had to go, and usually Tiffany comes on and does our Friday night plugs, but I'll do this real quick. Our Friday night show, 10 p.m., 9 East, 9 Central. It's our show is recognized as the KT Unearthly Show. It's a paranormal theme show. The guest on Friday is Dan Willis. Dan Willis is a mainstream media and full ET disclosure individual.
And what does
somebody
that mean?
It means he's been there and done that. He's got someone who's has had access to things, and will be able to share some pretty heavy, deep stories when it comes to the whole extraterrestrial info, extraterrestrial. I can't give it all away. You just got to tune in Friday or listen to the download after the fact.
Well, I'm free. I probably will.
Yeah. No gigs this weekend for you, Greg?
No, I'm off for next 3 weeks, I believe. I don't have a gig until the 23rd, maybe, of July. Yeah, I've got
really?
Some downtime. Yeah, I don't mind a little downtime.
Yeah, I was thinking
unless something
Friday
pops up, I might jump in.
Yeah, I might. Well, I think Friday I'm supposed to meet up with my daughters at Gerstl's to watch Shane Dawson. My daughters are going to be there. My oldest is in town. She lives right outside of D.C., so she's in town for a month with the grandbabies, and she's never seen Shane. Claire's a huge Shane fan, so to try to meet them Friday, and then Saturday, think I'm going to go see, I might be going to TK's to see Van Walen, and I might swing by to see Kirby's. I think Kirby's is at Stevie Ray's? Where are they at?
I think I did see that, yeah.
Yeah, so I like to make my rounds and just say hey to the guys and people I talk to. So I may see what you got going on those nights. Maybe we can meet up one night and hang out.
All right, man. If I'm not grounded, I could be grounded. I may have to get a hall pass.
Okay. Well, I'll send your wife one of those green field trip slips and see if we can get you out.
If we can fill it out.
Exactly.
You got to get it turned in on time too.
On time, yeah. All right, G Money, G Unthank. Good solid show tonight. I can't tell. Let me see next week's show. Listen to this. Our next Wednesday show, June 29th. Shooting Stars. We will have sound engineer Bob Randall is the first guest.
My buddy Bob.
Uncle Bob. And then Louisville recording studio man Phil Bright will be on the show with us too. Part 2 of his previous time on the show. So that's going to be a nice little show.
It'll be a techie night.
Techie night, good fun stories. There's probably some good stories that those guys will be able to tell. And so that looks to be a solid show. So, all right, Unthank. Good night to you. You and I will connect over the weekend, see what's up, and sweet dreams to my former Crimson Manual.
That's right.
Alumni number 67. All right.
Yeah. All right, buddy.
All right, Greg.
Good show,
Have
man.
A good night.
Talk to you later.
Yeah.
What is up, guys? This is Travis with City of Country. Just want to touch base on what we got coming up this Friday night. Man, we're going to be at the county line doing our EP/merch release show. We've got all kind of stuff coming for you guys. We got T-shirts, EPs, guitar pick necklaces, beer koozies. I mean, you name it, we've got it. We're ready to have a freaking awesome time with you guys this Friday night. Big shout out to Chris Lucian for having us out at the county line. Another big shout out to Kevin Hale for having us on here at the Shooting from the Lip. Man, thank you guys so much and supporting the local scene. And I'm sure we'll see you guys out Friday night. And you're going to be rocking out just as well as we are. I already know that. Man, just check us out. June 24th, the county line. That's this Friday night. We start at 9:30. It's going to be a show you don't want to miss. It's going to be a rocking time, man. Thanks.
At no time were any animals or people hurt during this presentation of Shooting from the Lip.